Hello, a very warm welcome to everyone. I am USHA, a practicing company secretary and a POSH trainer based in Kolkata. POSH stands for Prevention of Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace. I'm here to discuss Code 5, Gender Equality SDG. Now, what are SDGs? In 2015, world leaders of 193 member states of United Nations agreed to 17 global goals, and these officially got pronounced as Sustainable Development Goals (SDGs). These goals have been carefully identified as having potential to change the world by 2030 through poverty eradications, fighting inequality, and addressing urgency of climate change. Now, gender equality aims at bringing up women and girls equal rights, opportunities to live free without any discrimination, including workplace discrimination or any violence. Now, why is gender equality important? Because equality in all fields is a basic human right. Also, enhancing women has a multiplier effect across all dimensions, across all development areas. The 2030 agenda is very clear that there cannot be any sustainable development without gender equality in reality. Women empowerment is a myth until and unless women are aware of what their rights are and start exerting those rights. Now, since I'm a professional, I would look into legal acts that would be helpful in women empowerment. These laws can be milestones if implemented well. The first one is Protection of Domestic Violence Act 2005. Now, this law basically covers physical abuse or harm, injury, but also includes sexual abuse, that is forced sex, verbal abuse like accusations on character, emotional abuse like not bringing dowry, not being able to give birth to a male child, economic abuse like not being able to provide for the family, that is home and children, financially. It covers all women, that is mother, wife, sister, even live-in partners. The next one is Dowry Prohibition Act of 1961. Both the dowry giver and the taker, they are considered guilty whether the dowry is being taken directly or indirectly. The Preconception and Prenatal Diagnostic Techniques Prohibition of Sex Act 1994. This act prevents sex selection by parents for upcoming child, either before or after conception, except in certain cases where there is fetal disorder. This act actually prevents female feticide. The fourth one that is coming up is the Equal Remuneration Act 1976. This act provides same wages to women as compared to men for doing the same set of works. There has to be no discrimination on the ground of sex. Now, it is the duty of the employer to keep this act in mind while giving job to both men and women. The fifth one is the Sexual Harassment of Women at Workplace Prevention, Prohibition and Redressal Act 2013, something which ideally, and this is a mandatory act for all the organizations which have 10 or more than 10 employees, whether they are men or women, irrespective of that. So, long bygone are the days when men used to be sole breadwinners of a family. Globalization has brought about a radical change in the status of women worldwide. However, with larger influx of women in the mainstream workforce of India, sexual harassment at workplace has assumed greater dimensions. Workplace sexual harassment is a form of gender discrimination which violates women's fundamental rights to equality and right to life as guaranteed under 14, 15 and 21 of the Constitution of India. It creates insecure, hostile working environment for women. It also impedes the ability to deliver in today's competing world. It affects the performance. It also adversely affects the economic growth, social growth, and puts them through physical and emotional suffering. So, no doubt women do face sexual harassment at workplace, but many are not aware of the rights and how they can make use of that. So, the POSH Act here plays a very important role. It ensures that all women, irrespective of age or employment status, are protected against sexual harassment. at all workplaces, be it in public or private. It is applicable to all the organized as well as the unorganized sector. That is government organizations, public, private sector, education institutions, sport institutions, stadiums, hospitals, nursing homes. Even what happens, those domestic dwelling places are covered. That means the domestic workers who are doing household works, the housemates, they are also even covered under this act. Now, it is mandatory, as said, for organizations to form an internal complaints committee if it has more than 10 people. In case it has less than 10 people, so then the aggrieved lady can actually approach the local complaints committee of that area in such cases. The Act, POSH Act, is applicable to the whole of India, and it is very comprehensive and is wide coverage. The definition, the sexual harassment definition that it contains, has got wide coverage so that not a single situation goes bypassed and every woman or girl is given the justice. Sexual harassment actually includes what? Any unwelcome sexually tinted behavior, whether directly or by implication. It includes any sexual favors, asking for any sexual favors in physical contacts, advances, any sexually colored remarks, showing pornography, any other unwelcome physical, verbal, or non-verbal conduct of sexual nature. In a layman's language, you can say anything which is unwelcoming or offending, or you can say uncomfortable to the lady towards which the action is meted out. Remember, it does not need to be physical. Any lewd comments, or you can say any inappropriate comments, online sexual harassment is also, everything is included here. So as I said, the coverage is very wide. Okay, even the act covers those customers or clients who may be sexually harassed at workplace, even though they are not the employees of the company. It is not important that they need to be the employee of the organization where the sexual harassment is taking place. So it covers customers and clients. Okay. And any person facing sexual harassment, generally rape or any kind of assault or any criminal act, they can also lodge complaint under the Indian Penal Code. So overall, we need to bring about a change in the attitude of the people towards harassment, because in our culture, we tend to hush up all of these things and we just move on without resolving these issues because it is considered as a taboo. So please bring it out in open, because harassment, no doubt, it's not okay. It is as simple as that. Also, in the Indian culture, women who stand up for their rights are blatantly termed as being feminist. It is time to change such deep rooted misconceptions. The more we talk about sexual harassment at the workplace or in any other areas, the more understanding people will have. The more understanding they have, the more the empowerment will be there. And as per the POSH Act, all the organizations to which it's applicable are required to get their employees trained via POSH trainers like me. So, also, I would like to say that women should be very bold and courageous to say no outrightly. A very common myth among Indian men is that when a woman says no, it actually does not mean so, as per the filmy concept. So men actually should know and follow that a no means no. Ladies should not also be afraid of any kind of retaliations, because the Indian laws provide enough protection to women in these cases. Also, everything is very, very confidential when it comes to following the POSH Act. So, the POSH Act can actually bring about a lot of change in the area of women empowerment. And in the end, I would just say we all need to just step up in order to turn our promises into action. We need public action. We need to tackle these inequalities. We need to invest in policies and programs and then implement them the right way to bring about an impact. There is a greater accountability that is needed. Also, the time is calling to turn gender equality into a lived reality. All the more, it is the women who themselves need to raise their voices for any kind of injustice being done to them. जब वो खुद की मदद करेंगे तब लोग उनकी मदद करेंगे. So it's calling for action, not only uh, on the side of other people, but basically women also. Stand up for your rights. Speak. Let's make it happen. There's not much time left for 2030. Thank you.